Today I'm wearing my shirt that says girls and I'm looking gay as ever and I'm feeling it. So today I have a couple of tips about stick and poke tattoos. Before I start, I wanted to say that I'm moving into my apartment in 2 weeks, so expect some apartment videos and stuff like that. So subscribe if you want to see that, or other art videos or other things, and definitely make sure to request things in the comments. My first tip is to make sure that you have the right supplies. I'm not saying you can't have a good tattoo doing it with a safety pin and pen ink, but having the right supplies could be the difference between a good tattoo and a bad tattoo. A good tattoo and a bad tattoo, however you want to define that. If this is something that you want to do on other people and something that you want to take more seriously, definitely make sure that you have the right supplies. It's honestly not that expensive. The hardest part is waiting for it to come in the mail. You can order tattoo needles in a pack of 50 for $7 on eBay. You can order brand name tattoo ink in a bottle for $9 on eBay. There are tattoo supply stores online. It's honestly not that expensive until you buy like a gun and all that. So if you're trying to do stick and pokes, it's seriously not that expensive and it's worth every penny, especially if you consider the fact that getting a professionally done tattoo is definitely a lot more expensive. Tip number 2 is to be sanitary. I talked about this in my last 2 tattoo videos, but definitely make sure to clean off all your supplies. Make sure what you're buying is sterile. Wear gloves, wash your hands. Rubbing alcohol is your best friend. I don't want you guys to get an infection. I don't want anyone you're tattooing to get an infection. I don't want anyone I'm tattooing to get an infection. A tattoo is essentially an open wound for the sake of art. So it's so important that you at least make an effort to try to be sanitary about it. It's honestly not that hard to go to Target and buy a pack of gloves for $5. It's not that hard to wash your hands. Rubbing alcohol is really cheap. Just take care of yourselves and take care of the people that you're tattooing. Number 3 is to go slow. Tattoos take a long time and it's really important to block out enough time whenever you're tattooing yourself or someone else to make sure you can go as slow as possible. It's much better to have a tattoo take 4 hours and look good than a tattoo to take 1 hour and look rushed and messy and wobbly and all that. If someone ever asks you to tattoo them or you're tattooing yourself and they're like, oh, but I'm kind of pressed for time, maybe reschedule that. Or if they want you to do it super late at night and you think you might get tired, maybe reschedule it. Just know that you should definitely go slow. Going slower is better than going faster. Tip number 3.5 is to know that it will take a long time. It's so important to go into tattooing knowing that your tattoo is going to take a long time. I mean, I think the quickest tattoo I've gotten is my You Are Loved tattoo. That only took like half an hour, but they were doing it with a gun and stick and pokes are a lot different. If you need to, block out the tattoo that you're doing into sessions. The biggest tattoo I ever did was pretty darn big. It was on someone's hip, so I can't show you guys, but it took like 3 different sessions and each session was like 2 hours. So it took me a real long time to do, and there are still areas that I'd like to darken up on it. Another little mini tip within a tip is to check and see how their skin is doing. If their skin is looking a little red and irritated, it's better to leave it be and then to come back and make it darker than it is to irritate the skin even more and make it darker on the first round. Kind of going along with that, tip number 4 is to poke shallower rather than deeper. If you poke too deep, the ink can blow out, and yeah, sometimes that fades eventually and it doesn't necessarily look bad, it just doesn't look as clean as it would if it didn't blow out. It's better to go really shallow and just go over it a million times. If you go shallower, actually the ink is gonna look darker because the deeper you go, you're pushing it into the skin more. It's better to go slowly and go shallower and just go over it 18 million times than it is to just go way too deep and only go over it a few times. And tip number 5 is to know that stick and pokes are meant to have character. Stick and pokes have a completely different look than tattoos done with a gun. I mean, okay, there are stick and poke artists that it looks like they did it with a gun, but that's because they've been doing it for years and they're professionals. If you're just doing this on your friend at a party or yourself in your bathroom at 3 a.m. on a Tuesday night, your stick and poke is not gonna look like you did it with a gun, and it's meant to have character. The reason I love stick and pokes is that they have stories. I can guarantee you, if one of your friends comes to you looking for a tattoo tattoo and it's gonna be a stick and poke, they are not looking for super thin lines and professional done quality and excellent shading. They're looking for a work of art that was done by their friend. They're looking for something unique. So you don't have to stress if your stick and pokes have like a little bit of character to them, because they're meant to look that way. They're not meant to look like a professional tattoo. Okay, now to show you guys a little bit of my portfolio. I showed some of these in my art portfolio video. If you haven't seen that, I'll link it in the description. Okay, I'll start with the first one I did. It was a lily of the valley on my thigh. I vlogged it. You can go take a look at it. The second one I did was a leaf on my friend's foot. I'll put in a picture right here. I had so much fun doing that tattoo. We watched, what did we watch? We watched a movie. We watched Creep while we did it. I love that movie so much and she hadn't seen it, so I just was poking her. We had the subtitles on. She was like, ah! The third tattoo I did is definitely my favorite tattoo that I've ever done, just because I love the person that it's on and I love like the design that he did. It's a little ghost. We're considering adding a mouth to it because if he holds his arm like this, it kind of looks like baby Groot. I tattooed the outline of a woman on my friend's ankle. That was really fun. I actually did 2 bees on the back of people's arms. They didn't know each other and the bees were completely different styles. The first was on my friend Jared. I love him to death, and then my friend Brennan actually wanted a tattoo on the back of his arm with a bee and he hadn't even seen the other one, and so I did a completely different design on him because I would never tattoo the same thing on 2 different people. Oh my gosh, I've done so many of these I can't like remember all of them. I did a leaf on my friend's arm in red. She wanted the leaf to be kind of spotty and airy, and it was super tiny, like less than a centimeter, and this girl is like the coolest person in the world, so I was really flattered that she wanted me to tattoo her. Some tattoos I'm not gonna show and I'm not gonna talk about because they're on like places that like they probably wouldn't want to be on the internet, so I'm just gonna leave those be. But oh, the most recent one that I did was a little tooth on my friend's ankle. She actually took the pain really well. I think this is like a more painful spot and she did it super well. I drew a bunch of different molars and she chose this one and I had so much fun doing it on her. It was actually really quick. It only took like an hour. So those are a few of the tattoos I've done and 5 different tips for stick and pokes. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you guys are doing well. Definitely subscribe. It would help me out a lot. If you want to follow me on social media, I'll leave all the links to that in the description. If you don't want to, completely get it, no pressure. And if you're in LA around August 17th and you want to come meet me and my friends, you can always come to our art collective show. It's at junior high and it will be from 7 to 10 p.m. All the details about that will be coming up on my Instagram and on Grapefruit's Instagram, so definitely keep an eye out for that. Okay, that's it. I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.